Hello, this is Arturelia Anime Room Reviews. I'm Arturelia, and today I'll be reviewing Inuyasha The Final Act. Finally wrapped up everything that the original did not, because probably the creator of the manga was still writing the story. But is it still good? Is it like as good as the original, or does it have issues? Well, today I'll be reviewing the final act. Let's go.
This won't be like our last encounter.
Damn, I can't see any demon vortices. The infant's Fuyoheki must be hiding them.
Out of my way!
Now, obviously, the story starts us off where the original series left off. Inuyasha and the gang are still on the hunt for the remaining shards, though they will encounter new foes along with Naraku. The story wraps up everything from the previous seasons, even though Inuyasha had dark moments in the series. This final season goes into a darker turn, because we're nearing the end of the show. I mean, it still has some humor here and there, like the original, but, you know, it's like that moment where it's almost time to close the curtain and the biggest showdown is about to happen. The opening of this season actually just stays the same, while the endings have 3 different endings. And I like them. While the music of the show is basically the same as the original. Nothing different. They just use the ones from the original series, and that's fine because that's what you're used to. The art style is also really nice because this is several years after the original. It's beautiful, the animation is nice, and the action scenes are also well detailed. Now, you know, the characters, like I explained about the original series, you know, you already know these characters. They're still on the hunt for Naraku and the Shikan Jewel Shard, but there are new ones that are thrown in. Byakuya, if I'm saying that right. Well, I know in the books, I thought at first he was a girl, but no, he's not. He's another creation of Naraku. He's calm, but yeah, just another assistant and an enemy to the group. And yeah, when he's engaging, he's mostly calm. The only difference maybe between the characters from the original and you know, this one, well, Kagome seems more like, well, maybe less annoying, but she's, I don't know. The voice actors, there's at least 2 voice actors that could not come back to reprise their roles. Her, who did Kagome, and even him, who did Shishomaru. And he mentioned that he wasn't going to come back and do it, so a new guy had to do it. I mean, the voice actress that did Kagome, she doesn't, I mean, I know she's trying to sound like Kagome, but she doesn't really. I'll always remember the other girl as Kagome. While the guy that does Shishomaru, you know, he does his best. At points he kind of, but it just isn't the same. He doesn't have that calm tone like the original voice actor did. He was just really good at it. I'm not saying that he's bad for this Shishomaru, but I just kind of wish he would have come back and done Shishomaru. And for other things that are different, well, I mean, Kikyo has her moments, Koga has some fighting moments.
Well, let's just say after some episodes, he doesn't have much screen time after that.
Sango also has this moment of wanting to just save Moroku so badly that she's actually determined to do what she can, and near the end of the show, she basically almost does something. Now Moroku, on the other hand, yeah, he still has his moments of flirting, but then when the show progresses, he also risks himself just to save the others, and he's actually almost destroying his body and making his wind tunnel worse. So by that point, you know that this show is getting really desperate for these characters to finish off Naraku before it's too late. And the other characters like Kagura, Hakadoshi, well, Hakadoshi had less time than in the other seasons, while Kagura has a big moment, and it's kind of, you know, sad. Overall, this season, well, I did enjoy it. It was darker and had some good moments, but it does have some issues. For one, they kind of tend to go a little too fast with its episodes. They kind of seemed like they were almost rushing it. I mean, it's kind of like how they did with Brotherhood in the first episode. While in Hellsing Ultimate, it kind of felt the same way. Some scenes feel like they're a little bit too rushed. And sometimes, I don't know, like, yeah, I mean, my main issue was that I feel like it just rushed things too quickly with, yeah, just too quickly on certain points of the scenes that were playing out. It does slow down by a few episodes in, and sometimes when they speak and say stuff, it just seems really quick. I don't know, for some reason the original kind of smoothed it out nicely, while this kind of just rushed. I mean, it did finally slow down, and some episodes were actually pretty good, some were okay. I will say some of the episodes that come afterwards, like near the end, are actually really good. So when it comes to how fast it goes with certain scenes, I mean, it happened in the manga, so I wouldn't really argue, but overall, I did enjoy it, and I did enjoy that it finally had the conclusion it deserved. Actually, the one thing that changed for Shomaru was one emotional scene for him. And then close to the end, you kind of see him, well, you know, he has more of an attachment with Rin. And Kuhaku tries his best to do what he can to stop Naraku and put it into it, even if he has to sacrifice himself, like in the original. The only thing is the voice actor that does him, I don't know if it's the same one, but he kind of doesn't put a lot of expression into his voice acting. So that is probably another issue I can say, that he doesn't put a lot of expression.
Stand aside. We have no time.
I can't do that. If you insist, then you'll have to go through me first. Sango, please.
Kago.
Inuyasha The Final Act. It wrapped up everything from the original. It does have issues, yes, like the original, but the characters, you know, they're still interesting, and new changes to them and what they have to deal with, new characters that are thrown in, and you know, it will make for an entertaining ride, some funny moments too, but mostly dark. Certain things are like, well, okay, other episodes were, it's kind of the same thing with the original. Some episodes are better than others. Now, what would I give it? Well, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10 because it finally finishes what the original started. And, you know, you got all your beloved characters back and ready to fight and defeat Naraku. So yeah, I really like that it finally had its conclusion and wrapped up a classic series. And I remember I was really excited that this show was airing around the time I knew it was airing. Around 2009 through 2010, and I always thought that period was like my favorite period because it was airing. Now, obviously, I guess I can recommend the movies, but you know, there's really nothing else of Inuyasha. If you want more of her creations, I guess you could watch this show, Rama 1.5, if that's how I'm pronouncing it, or you could watch the movies. Oh, if you want though, you could see this epilogue manga that she wrote and drew, where it takes place after the events of the final act. Well, this is Arturelia Anime Room Reviews signing off.